Why is it in fear? Why has it got to be in fear?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Trump sharing confidential information.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Hold on. Trump.
Allegedly.
Okay. Trump saying that he shared information with the Russians. Good or bad?
McMaster said it didn't happen.
Trump said
that is true.
McMaster's
did say that it
was
wasn't
in the room
confidential.
and said that it did not happen.
You know, Rob.
So
Rob
unless
texted.
you're willing to go on the record and say that you have zero faith in McMaster's, then
you wonder
All
why
right,
I'm
no.
afraid.
For those of
Didn't happen.
listening and watching this program, this
You
is
have
what
single-handedly turned me into a liberal.
this is what happens before every show. I text our guests and our co-hosts here, and I say, "Hey, let's hit these high points." And on the list for today was not
That's true.
Trump and the secrets. And Rob goes, "You pansy, you're running in fear. Tell Tuck." And I said, "With what?" He goes, "You won't talk about Trump spilling secrets." I said, "What secrets?" And he said, "I don't know."
I said, "I don't know." He's
said, "I
going
don't
nuts.
know."
He's going nuts right now on Twitter himself. That was my point. It wasn't about the secrets. It's about his need to hop on the internet again.
yeah. Well, he's not currently on
But I
the
did
internet
say-
because he's meeting with turkeys.
I did say we could talk about Trump going crazy on the sideline.
Yeah.
But she's right. McMaster's comes out today, denies that anything confidential
That's right.
was
Did
shared.
you hear that, Rob? He said I'm right.
Trump did admit that he did talk about ISIS and share information with Russia,
right.
but McMaster says it wasn't classified information. And I actually said to Rob, I said, hold on. So if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because let's say it's confidential information,
Right.
and Trump chooses to say to Russia, who's supposed to be an ally in this war,
Right.
hey, you need to know this is being plotted on.
Right.
Which to me is, okay, that happened, maybe not comfortable with it. But then for the newspapers to say, hello, Trump talked about an airline plot of ISIS, and
It's
ISIS
spilled
now ISIS
all
is going.
the beans. Yeah.
Okay, so the beans were really spilled by the WAPO.
So
On
in the
this.
morning, in the early hours, News Channel 9 out of Chattanooga had tweeted, new, all caps, President Trump has tweeted for the third time this morning. And then his tweet. So I just responded back to them, I feel awful for whoever of you fine journalists had to make this announcement. Right? Like,
Yes.
for the third time.
it's a 3-tweet day. Like we're literally...
It's nearly 9 o'clock,
yeah. Like
and
the
Trump has thrice tweeted.
The president has tweeted 3
In all
times.
fairness, I'm pretty sure he gets up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so that's really like 3 o'clock in the afternoon to him.
It's a 3-tweet morning,
So-
America.
That's
You
because
know.
his Golden Corral meal's over at 7.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, I don't know what to think of the
Here's
Russian thing.
here's the thing,
I
though.
don't.
Like,
I don't know what to think.
are we uncomfortable that it was? I mean, why are we
I feel like
uncomfortable
the
here?
only person who seems to remember that they don't ever have our best interests at heart.
They don't.
I feel like
yeah.
it's just like that's the thing. Like people used to actually use the Russians, just the general Russians,
right.
as the put down to Obama. That's what a conservative would say. He's just a Russian commie Obama Muslim, right? Like throw all the things.
Just put it all
Just like
in
throw
Just
all
all
the
of
things
it.
a
together, right?
Neapolitan
Like
insult.
everything- That's right, right? And that's the thing. But now they're like, I mean, we got to get Russia to step up somehow. We got to share a little bit. We have to share them a
Right,
little bit.
right. Well, Adam did bring up a good point in that they are supposed to be an ally in the fight against ISIS. So
How's that going?
So
How's that been?
yeah.
How's that
Hey,
been
listen,
going?
I am
working.
too big. I am too big of a Rocky fan not to be weary of the Russians.
That's right.
Forever.
Exactly.
It's like
So-
anybody who
It's-
ever watched Indiana Jones will always go, "Is it German?"
Germans?
Yeah.
But
that's
here's the issue that I have with this. I don't think that meeting should have taken place to begin with. Like, I would not have been. I don't want Russia anywhere near the White House. Period.
Because he fired Comey, which we haven't talked about on this program
He
either.
mic
And it was
dropped
like
that
the
guy.
next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we listen?
Gives me butterflies
Our
thinking
our
about
FBI
it.
guy- our FBI
Comey's
guys
not even on the agenda for today's show. We're
You know
all
what?
off
Yeah,
the
and so
map.
like here's the deal out there. Dear Trump's America, I didn't actually call Adam a pansy.
Lies.
I just was like,
You said you pathetic coward of a man.
I did not. But on the list was fidget spinners.
Yeah.
Like the president of our country, like the day after he
But he
fires
was
the
caught with a
FBI
fidget
chief,
spinner.
Oh.
the president invites a Russian guy into the White House and shares whatever this. I told you the one thing that I did think was actually interesting was this idea of the levels of security. So this code word security thing,
right.
whatever that may or may not be, right? Fake news.
Well,
whatever it may be,
yeah.
whatever it may be. He invites this guy in, and our agenda this morning is fidget spinners. I was like,
Well,
no, friend.
Are we not waiting for the image of Trump with a fidget spinner?
I can't wait.
Like,
I
it's
can't wait.
gonna happen.
Have
where
you
he's just
guys
like-
seen the video that this comedian, I think it might have been on Funny or Die.
was it?
He does this fantastic, funny Trump impersonation. And when I say this, keep in mind, I've been very vocal. I don't think Baldwin's version is funny.
Right.
No longer.
Okay, like I don't think Baldwin is a funny Trump, but this was hysterical. And this one has Trump walking down a street with his personal detail, his bodyguards, and he's getting excited as the trucks drive down the road, and he's trying to like pump his fist to get him to blow the air horn, and he keeps turning around to his secret detail, going, if you get your fist really high, then they'll blow the horn twice. It's amazing.
I
Anyway,
always
look it
said
up.
that Jimmy Fallon's Trump was
His
much
Trump's pretty
better.
good. Yeah, I think Fallon's Trump is
Because he
good.
doesn't go so deep to dig. He really
It's
plays
supposed to
off
be
the
funny, right? It
parts.
should be
Yeah.
humor for a reason. It should be
Right.
humor for a
Right.
reason.
Yeah.
All right, well, there, we got that out of the way.
Did we?
Is
it out of the way?
We
It just
did.
depends on what else she's going to say that's pro-Russian. I feel like I'm the far conservative.
I was outwardly vocal that I don't want the Russians near the White House.
Okay,
This
okay.
meeting shouldn't have happened.
Okay.
Why it happened, I don't know.
right.
Like, what was
Again,
what was the
No, you
I
know what? I'm
agenda?
backing down. You're right. You did. You
I
did
think
say
the
that.
big
It was
story
not what
here-
I was expecting you to say.
Russians scare
It's just,
me. I'm
Adam
just going to put
really
it out
freaked
there.
me out earlier today when he called and he said, I've had this epiphany. It's not that the president did something wrong. It's that the media reported on it.
It's pretty
And
bad
I was
that
like-
the
Yeah.
media reported on this because
It's pretty
the,
bad that
the
it
cat
happened.
was not out of the bag until they were like, oh, look, Trump opened the top of the bag. Now
That's
it's like the
like-
cat out.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
like,
it was-
not to get
yeah.
into like
Like we're willing
I'm
to
being dead
sell
serious.
everything short to tarnish
That's
this
like
man
this
in the
whole
White House.
thing of what is it that they call it? This like what is it? It's like the rape shaming. You know, well, like she wore those clothes, so she deserved it.
Oh no! You do not get to draw that comparison.
Why?
Because it's
You're-
not there. Just
it-
because
it
you
is
say
a-
it does not make it so.
No, listen.
To say that I'm victimizing somebody.
There
who
you
doesn't
are. That's
deserve
it.
to be
That's the word.
victimized.
Sorry.
No.
That's it. You're like. I mean, Trump.
So hold on. Oh,
Trump.
purity to the question for our listeners and for our viewers. Do you not believe that folks, whether it's the media or even the Democrats right now, are willing to sell everything in order to paint him negatively?
Oh no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
this
I
and that's
agree
exactly what
with
happened.
that. I
There
agree
was
with that.
no reason for
It's nuts.
the media.
It's nuts.
They like even to report he shared stuff with Russia, but for them to actually go that an airline plot by ISIS and a guy named Fred living in Baltimore, and that guy Fred's going, I need to move cities.
Right. Well,
You know?
and that's always been right. Hasn't that? That's always been a big issue.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Anytime anything like that gets shared, they say like, "Look, you're compromising our people." Around
And when
the
I
world.
called you, I said that's my concern. My concern is that
Okay,
it's
okay.
so
I-
volatile right now.
I went too far. I'm saying
You
I'm
called me
manning
a
up.
pathetic coward over the
I'm
phone.
manning up. I'm manning up. I did not.
He did not call me
That's-
that.
I didn't.
But it came
I'm
across
manning
like
up
that.
and saying
Where are your testes
If-
today, Lo? That was kind of.
You left.
Did
Hey.
Mitch
You
the
left
only
your
one?
boy
Just
parts
wait
in the
till
Bahamas.
after the
Welcome
break.
back.
Wait till after the break when I interrupt fidget spinners to talk about the county commission.
Oh!
And this
It's
is
all like
really
Donkey Kong.
a margarita in
right.
this bottle.
Before we lose track of everything, let's get to the
Hold
flop.
on.
For the first story in the flop today, we're going to our humble field correspondent, Mitch, who's been on the trail following every move that Sean Spicer makes.
Love Sean Spicer.
Okay, groupie, is he in or is he out? Where's he going? Is Sean Spicer done at the White House?
Oh no. No.
He's not?
No.
Oh, I think he's done. I think
do?
he's toast. Yeah.
Why?
I think he is the he's the
Wasn't he
guy
always
that
the
comes
super-
back from vacation and he's like, that's
Where's
not my
my
family photo
office?
on the desk. that's Sean Spicer. And news reports last week said that maybe Fox News contributor Gretchen Carlson
Right.
may be his replacement. I thought that Sarah Huckabee, I don't even know what her new married name
right.
is. I thought she did a great job. She has like the personality of plate glass.
Could we get
Yeah.
Mike Huckabee in that position?
That's Mike Huckabee.
That'd be amazing.
That
was all there is to do of a Huckabee impression. You just did. You nailed it.
Everybody just, you got to get the little tooth thing going on.
I'm not a
Mike
fan of
Huckabee
Sarah
is like
Huckabee.
George H.W. Bush, and people have never really drawn that comparison, but they are the same person.
They're pretty close.
1,000 points alike, you know.
They're
I
pretty
mean,
close. They're pretty close.
But no, I thought she did a
happen
good
to
job.
Love all the Bushes, but I don't love Sarah Huckabee. Like you said, her
Do you like
personality.
the band
like,
Bush in the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay, there, all the Bushes are covered.
I was like 5, but okay.
No, listen, I thought she did a pretty good job last week. I thought she did a better job of laying smackdown on the reporters, which is Trump's thing, right?
Yeah.
He wants to backslap a journalist at some point during the press briefing.
Yeah.
And I thought she did a better job than anything when she was talking pretty openly about the firing of Comey, and they kind of said, now listen, you came out here and you said that Donald Trump did not plan to do that, and he did it on the advice of the AG's
Right.
office. And she said, hey, listen, Kat, at the time that was the intel I had.
Yeah.
Since then, I've talked to the president. He said he was thinking about it beforehand, pretty much
Yeah.
committed to do it. And so don't try to catch me in something, Jack Wagon. I was like, that's how you play smackdown on somebody.
I feel like and what we really want isn't this like extremely enraged Sean Spicer. We want someone that will keep
Sean
the media
Spicer
in
is
check,
not
but also
enraged
still like
enough.
be okay with the fact that we have the media.
And she even went on the level to say, no, listen, you're creating a story. And Sean Spicer would go, you're creating a story, shut up. Next person. She was kind of, you're creating a story, and here's how.
Yeah,
And that's what
it's Spicer.
And that's
just
what I liked.
Spicer's so mad, and I think like
Which
people
makes
are
for
mad enough at each
Jenny
other, they don't
McCarthy's
need him.
impression of Spicer on SNL is fabulous.
It's the best thing. I never want it to go away. I wish they would just let McCarthy be the new.
That would be funny.
But
if
she has to
wasn't
play
liberal.
Sean Spicer. That'd be incredible.
Yeah, she's amazing at that. So you don't think Spicer's going anywhere? I think he's out. I don't think Sarah Huckabee will get that
I'll
job.
be
but
heartbroken if he is.
I'm
think
sure
he's
you will
out.
be.
I'll weep.
He was yours, right?
He is.
Yeah.
He's welcome on this show anytime. He can be my press secretary.
He has a lot of
So we've got
your
the-
same views, I think.
We got the open invitation for Sean Spicer and
Sean, if you're listening, and we know you are, we know how much you like this show. Mitch would love for you to join us.
so now it's Sean Spicer, Randy Boyd, and who else did we make an open invitation to?
Bill O'Reilly.
Lee.
Bill O'Reilly.
Lee.
No, Bill Lee's already. He's called. He says he's going to call in. He hasn't yet. Bill ain't called yet.
He's busy on the farm.
Bill ain't
Leave him
called yet.
alone.
So, but now listen. So yeah, we open
Mitch
invitation.
is like the Taylor Swift of the Republican Party.
What does that mean?
That deserves further explanation.
And doesn't she date everybody? Isn't she like the?
And write a song about it.
Yeah, writes a song about it.
State everybody
Oh my
write a song about
gosh.
it.
I could write a few songs. I'll do a little ditty. If you'll play the guitar,
That is-
I'll write the song.
That is way too much time on Sean Spicer. North Korea. This one's on the flop today too.
Yikes.
Maybe a little bit more important than we're giving it credit for right now.
Sean Spicer or North Korea?
No, North Korea.
No, listen. I've actually got
This
graphics
may,
for this.
Yeah, this may be a
part.
thing. This may be a
Okay,
thing.
so this is kind of what I want to show people. Last week, they tested a missile that North Korea says could hit the western United
Right.
States. And so I wanted to take a few minutes to actually explain what it takes for North Korea to do what they said they're threatening to do, and B, just how accurate what they're saying is. Okay.
Right.
Because here's the thing. We know North Korea is trying to shoot us, right?
Yeah.
We know.
And it's- and
we're
it's like-
absolutely 100%
And
positive.
and right
Yeah.
now they're like the little kid that can't quite cock the Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're kind of
Yeah.
like the dart's not going very far. So let's just look at the math. And I said, well, I need a really good source to tell me just how far North Korea can shoot a missile. Where do I go to? Popular Mechanics.
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not political. Let's go to
Sure.
popular.
Yeah.
People. I mean, these people live on engineering, right?
Yeah.
So this was 2013. Let's just bring this up here. This is a very fuzzy graphic. And North Korean missiles in 2013. These were the missiles that they had: the Hwasong 5 and 6, Rodong, Muson, and that's actually pronounced Daepodong, not Taepodong. And those were the two missiles that all the missiles that they had. At the time they were testing the Daepodong 1, which was able to hit Japan and China. But as you can see, their longest range, the Daepodong 2 at the time, could probably hit Alaska. But Popular Mechanics made a really good kind of summation of it. Really isn't just how far a missile can go. How far can you send a missile?
And what's it carrying that
How
explodes
small
and
is your
does some
warhead?
things, right?
And how accurate is your target? Now, keep in mind that the U.S. can hit anywhere on the Earth with a missile.
Right.
But even then, we've been testing for several decades, we're usually only within 1 kilometer of our target half the time. That's with U.S. technology, the best in the world.
50% of the time it works.
Other side of the earth.
50% of the time.
And for those of you who are not familiar with how halves work, if we can shoot halfway around the Earth, if we go the other direction, we effectively can shoot all the way around the Earth.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Just to make
Thanks.
that clear for some of our listeners out there.
Yeah.
So, or mostly our viewers on Facebook. The we've got several today, so I'm kind of picking at some. But this was 2013, right? So they were saying, biggest threats, maybe Guam
Right.
and Anchorage, right? What they tested last week is this.
Oh, that's a little more serious,
So-
friends.
Their Daepodong 2 missile has furthered its capacity to hit the western United States.
So that is about where in terms of the United States, like
That would be the Mississippi River.
Okay.
No, really, that'd probably be
right?
like,
Because I'm like, okay,
this
we're,
is kind of like Omaha.
we're like here,
We're
right?
kind of
Yeah.
like in Omaha.
Are we in
Let's go back to our
fallout
screen here.
range? Is what
Omaha.
I
I
just
wanna
realized, like,
know.
what you're asking is, should you care?
Pretty much that's what I'm asking.
Y'all been wanting to get rid of California. We got to give up Montana too.
I was gonna say,
But
Right.
keep
I
in mind,
just
this
want
is
to
one.
know how many dried beans to buy and whether or not I need another water purification system.
I'll just say this: if a nuclear warhead hit our shores, period, nobody's gonna be living normal.
Right.
I mean,
Anywhere.
like the fallout from nuclear.
What is the fault? Like, what is the fault?
I'm going to go as far as to say if they shoot one into China, nobody's living normal.
Right, yeah.
But here's the thing. For those of you who are listening on the radio that can't see this graphic, the capacity of that Daepodong 2, which is the country pronunciation of that, missile that they had has gone from reaching Anchorage, Alaska, and maybe Guam to being able to, as far as distance, effectively reach the center of the United States. Now, that's only one of those three things I mentioned. Their smallest nuclear warhead is reportedly still the size of a UPS truck, which means they have to minimize, whereas the United States, our smallest warhead, is about the size of, a big suitcase. So that shows you a difference. They have to build a warhead that's smaller before it's ever really a threat, and B, they have to figure out how to be accurate with it. So should you be worried about North Korea's missile launch? I think the fact that the range has increased is enough of worry. I think it's time for the international community, including Russia
Yeah.
and China, to get pretty serious about this.
Russia's response
Well, the good news
was,
is we just talked to Russia about it.
well,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we just Russia knows all about this right
And
now.
Russia responded that it would be wise not to aggravate or escalate the situation.
Yeah, I know. I find that interesting. It's kind
yikes.
of like when your mom walks in a room and goes, "Listen, I know that they hit you, but you probably shouldn't hit them back."
Right.
I
You're
don't.
kind of like, "Come on, mom.
Right.
Are you going to spank him or not? Because if you're not, when you leave the room, I'm going to whop him."
Yeah.
That's kind of how this is going down.
That was not the response we were looking for from Russia as far as the crazies go.
But surprisingly, 60% of Americans can't tell you where North Korea is on a map, more or less understand just exactly what it would take for North Korea to hit us with a nuclear warhead.
Right.
So I don't think necessarily you need to be buying your beans in water filtration for this instance.
Yeah.
Maybe hyperinflation. Maybe that's a good reason to do it, but not necessarily North Korea.
I'm more concerned about the EMPs personally than a nuclear warhead, but that's just a different conversation.
This week on Mitchell's Conspiracy Theories, we tackle chupacabras. So there's North Korea. To be concerned or not to be concerned, to be continued.
To
but
be
there's the math.
concerned.
Thank you, popular mechanics.
I agree with Mitch. I think to be concerned.
Yeah.
To be
to be
well, I
concerned.
said it's
I
time
think
for
to
us
be
to get
concerned
serious.
because like they're showing just relentless. Like it's sort of the thing. Like you make fun of it and you make fun of it. Like I loved that the movie, the Seth Rogen film a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
In which like and we forget that or we don't forget that North Korea said that was a declaration of war.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah, I
that
remember
film
that,
like
yeah.
and they meant it. They meant it. And we were like, oh. And it's like the puppy, right? That like kind of keeps like chewing on the edge of your jeans. And he's like, and you're like, oh, you get it. You go get it, North Korea. You get it. And then like people escape.
Right.
And they come here and they're like, everyone is like a slave zombie and we each eat like a cup of rice and people get beat all the time. Please save us.
Yeah.
And then Russia goes, let's not mess with them.
Let's not.
And we're like, but we're cool with you guys now, right?
I remember the photo op with Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong Un,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, hey, it's Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
It's a
I
fun
think
thing
this
to mess
guy's
with.
absolutely crazy, and
Right,
I think
yeah.
they
Yeah.
are willing to.
That's it. Like we can't. It's easy to like want to disregard it because they're crazy, but we need to also remember like they're relentlessly crazy about trying to kill us.
Right.
And so like
And
all they
nothing's
gotta
being
do is all they gotta
done.
do is one. They just gotta figure out one and be like, let's not test it this time. Right?
Yeah.
That's like the only thing they really gotta do. And we wake up tomorrow and go, man, like we made fun of that puppy for a long time,
And
but
Seattle's no more.
Seattle's gone.
Grunge music is forever dead. You know, that's kind of
Yeah.
what.
But no,
Tuesday-
and I
That's my
think the
favorite
most
thing
concerning
that you've ever
thing
yelled on this show. Grunge music is forever dead.
is that
There's
nothing's
probably people
being
commenting on our
done.
page right now that are like, that wasn't even that funny. People in Seattle might die. Yeah, they might, but what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Anchorage, Guam. Guam makes
can
more
only drink
sense,
so
but
much
Guam's
free
a
trade
really
coffee.
small target, right?
Right.
Alaskan tundra was
Well,
probably where it would land.
And I mean this in the nicest way possible, but if something were to happen to Guam, there's a good chance that you and I would not be greatly affected. If something hits the mainland or even Alaska, wherever else, we will definitely be
I
affected.
wonder, like,
so.
how Russia would feel if that missile went their way.
It landed into their sea.
Yeah,
the
like if
test
they're
was
like,
kinda
best not to inflame those dudes.
This
We're
is
all
what's
like,
funny.
we're like poking at the puppy, and they're like, best not to mess with the dudes who relentlessly want to kill you, like us.
Yeah.
Well,
No, this is what I thought. So they launched this test missile, and it lands in a sea towards Russia.
Right.
And it's kind of like the close graze where Russia's going, hey, man. He's like, no, I was shooting the dude behind
Right,
you.
yeah. I wasn't shooting at
Oh,
you.
man, sorry.
Oh, it's cool,
No,
it's
that
cool.
dude's over there. It's other way, guy.
That's what it is.
This is what I don't understand, though, is like, why is Russia not more concerned about this also? Because it is significantly closer than.
I
and
just
so-
thought they would be really
Because
worried,
North Korea's
Mitch,
not
because
threatening
they're
Russia.
They're
But
like
why?
our buddies now. They're like our best pals.
They're still
What's
mad.
a little bit of like helping us choose our president and whatnot. Like why?
Right.
No,
they're
this
not
goes
worried.
back to when we released the movie Miracle with Kurt Russell. They just said it was a declaration of war.
Yes. Oh man, this show.
Oh, man.
It's all coming. It's
This-
all
this-
coming
South
up
today.
This
today.
conversation today is going to single-handedly make them shoot that missile.
No,
It'll be-
this is going to get us on talk. Never mind. So again, all right. Last on the flop today. I'm going to give it its due before Rob Alderman just drops it in a really bad segment.
And
I need you to hold. I need you to hold. Let's
I
talk
will, I
about
will.
the craze of fidget spinners. For those of you not familiar with fidget spinners, here's a little something for you.
do it.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. I'm going to share with you guys something that's slightly off topic in comparison with the rest of my videos, but these are hand spinners or fidget toys, I
Now,
guess
if you're
you
listening
can
on the
call them,
radio, they're these
and
little
driving or
triangular
whatnot.
devices that you hold
Now,
between your fingers.
versions
You'll see a
with
lot of kids
tasks such
spinning
as
these
this
right now.
can be spun
they're really popular
Table.
in the listen, I've seen
I do
some
have
controversy
3
in my time with regards to new kid fads and stuff. But I think back, when I was a kid, slap bracelets,
Yeah.
and they became annoying too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They became both, and for anybody who had one long enough, it literally became a weapon. It was like rusted metal.
Right.
By the time it was finished, so you had that. We've had the annoying toys over and over. I thought the little bop thingies were really annoying. Bottle flipping. That wasn't
Bottle
even
flipping.
a toy, but that was. So there's always
That's
annoying
still
fads with
happening,
kids.
Like the
But this one was kind of sold as this therapeutic device for people with ADHD, which, come to find out, every child under the age of 13 has ADHD. If I'm seeing a lot of fidget spinners and several adults.
if I saw an adult with a fidget spinner, I would lose it.
Schools are still allowing them. Some are outlawing them. A lot of the therapeutic people are saying if you
Isn't-
don't need one, don't have one. Don't ruin it for people who do need one. Keep in mind that the very first fidget device was a stress ball. You remember those?
Yes.
Anything that could be squishy. This is nothing new with regards to, and everybody who watch me on this program sees that this pin.
Yeah.
Man, I'm on and off with this cap. I twirl a pin, so I'm not judging people who need fidget spinners. The hate that has ensued
You know what? Here's
has been a
what's
little abnormal.
interesting. What's
What's he
interesting
doing with
is,
the
like-
knife?
Oh, he's showing that's his fidget, I think.
Is that
I think
what?
what he was saying is like...
Rather than flipping a knife,
Right, rather than flipping
which
a
my
knife,
kid was doing that in
spinner.
school before you had a fidget spinner. You know?
Right.
Okay.
You know, I fidget. I posted the other day on the socials that I had a fidget spinner back when it was called doodling on your paper during a meeting.
Yeah, that still happens for
and
me.
I fidget. I am also a fidget person, and my son in particular, actually, he fidgets while he's learning, right? So that my oldest son fidgets constantly, and he wanted one of these early, way back, way, right? Because he's getting ready to be in high school now.
Yeah.
And he is now researching his own things and just really trying to get ahead. And he has fidgets, all sorts of different ones, and some work better than others. What's interesting was he wanted one of these, and now no longer does because they're starting to have. They're
fatty.
He doesn't
Yeah.
want anyone to think
Yeah.
that he might be like just wanting
Right.
to spin that thing. Because so far, right, all of his teachers have always been totally cool with him having a fidget because he's needing
Right.
a fidget. And you'll see him, man. He's sitting there. He'll work like whatever little fidget thing he's got in his hand while he's studying, and he's not focused on the fidget. He's focusing on his work because he's got this thing to do. And he now, I mean, I think he would still want one for a game.
Yeah.
But he has told me like this.
So you have
isn't
the
thing
fidget
he wants.
cube.
I like the fidget cube. I want
Yeah.
the fidget cube.
I have not. Seen
I was
the
waiting
fidget
for
cube.
them to drop in price, and they finally have because
Yeah.
of this thing.
Hey, you know what?
The fidget cube is the jam.
Groupon.
It's got like the
has-
buttons and all
yeah,
that
you
stuff.
could-
All of it. It's
Yeah.
got like a click wheel and
To
like
me,
a
that
spinny,
is a
like a Nintendo
far
joystick.
more effective tool for fidgeting than this. This
No,
is
I'll-
like
There's
this
some
year's
fidgets
No,
that
here's,
kendama.
here's the truth. As a child, you get away with a lot of things. This is a toy for most kids.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
you can see it as a toy, and it is a far less annoying toy than many other things.
Flipping a bottle or whatever.
Absolutely. Now, I sit here, and like I've told you, the whole time you were talking, I twirl this pin, I'll take the cap on and off. But I can take a pin like this in a business meeting, and I
Yeah.
can twirl it, and I can take the cap on and off.
And it makes you look smart.
And no one cares. But if I walk in with a fidget spinner right now as an adult, I don't care how fancy and gold-plated it is, I'm going... It's kind of like, listen, man, I'm that kind of guy. I wear a suit and Crocs because they're comfortable. I'm kind of like, dude, you're wearing
It
Crocs
is.
with a suit.
You know what? Here's the thing: is like I don't understand the vitriol other than the fact that as humans, right, we don't ever want anyone to get away with something we think we couldn't get away with, right? So like we look at something like that. Like the problem isn't the fidget spinner. Like if these just came out and they were called spinners and you did tricks with them,
Yeah.
we'd be like, well, at least it's not flipping a bottle.
Exactly.
And other people would be like, I think it's more annoying than flipping a bottle. And that would be the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason is because they first came out as like a therapeutic
Right.
thing.
I
And now it's a
agree.
toy. Everybody's uptight about it because they're like, well, it's not even real.
Yeah.
Those kids just want to play a game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree. I think it's the. I
Yeah,
think
they
it's
want to
the,
play a game. They're 9.
It's the reaction to the whole therapeutic side of things. I think that probably most people have some sort of fidget. We
Sure.
have patterned behaviors that create comfort for us. Some people it's shifting in a chair. You know, I sit on my
I'm a
right
shifter.
I sit on my right leg when I sit in a chair. My doctor said it's really bad for my knee. I still do it, right? There are other people who do different things. I touch I scratch my nose a lot when I'm speak. I'll do it. My wife says you got to stop doing that when you public speak. But I'm all the time scratching my nose and my upper lip like this, and I twirl a pen. Everybody has their little fidgets.
As conversations go on, I line up my watch, my phone, and whatever else I need to,
I've noticed.
and point them at the people I'm talking to. I
And
don't even
Donald
notice that I
Trump
do it.
moves everything out of his way
Moves
like
everything
a cat.
out of his way like a cat.
Like a cat. I just think we could be a little forgiving if spinning a little device like this. And I'll be honest with you, my kids have them. My son's got a really, really cool one.
My
and
kids
it's
don't
fun
have
to
them
sit
yet.
there
My
and
kids
spin.
don't have them yet.
I've
But I
found
don't care
myself
if they have
spinning
them.
it, and I think it's cool. But I will
I
tell you
read-
this: it is my concern, and why I won't let him take his to school anymore, is when I spin it, it captures my attention.
Right.
It's not a
That's the thing.
passive twirl like my pen is. And so my concern is, in schools especially,
It's
that
gonna take
spinning
away
it.
from learning.
That's right.
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 Well, my kids just got them. And I didn't want them to have them, but it was cheaper than buying them something at Lake Winnie.
Yeah, they're like
So
five bucks
okay.
max. You know, these
But
aren't expensive tools. The
I
kids
read-
could be asking for a new PlayStation.
Right. But I read an interesting article, and I can't remember where I read it. But it was saying that children that don't need the fidget spinner, like medically need it, that you're creating a problem because, right, our kids get bored. They don't know how to
Yeah.
self-stimulate.
Those
and
people
so you're
say that we
you're-
should all be dying of polio
you're
because of vaccinations.
constantly you're constantly
We
stimulating.
I'll go there too. This is basically my favorite episode we've ever done.
But you're teaching them to be constantly stimulated and not focus properly. Now, this is children that would not medically need them. I don't know. I tossed Boogses across the room the other day and told her to go fidget with her ball glove.
Did you?
So yeah, that's how we roll.
Well, there you go. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about more important things than fidget spinners, because that's been Rob's request. Maybe Rob Alderman in the studio. I'm the good Dr. J. Adam Mitch is here. Listening to Man Up America Talk 101.3 The Buzz, WTNB Television right here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Charter Channel 5, Comcast 210, Digital TV Dial 27.1. We'll be back in a moment.
Good Dr. J. Adam here, talking to all the gentlemen out there. For those of you with wives, girlfriends, even mothers, which would make all of you, you need to call 423-472-8887 and talk to the good folks at Bliss Day Spa. Nothing says I love you like the special treatment, the VIP treatment of the services of Bliss Day Spa. Call them today, 423-472-8887. Tell them the good doctor sent you from Man Up America.
Jay Adam, have you ever felt kicked in the gut when trying to get approved for a loan or a home mortgage? Then go by and see my friends at Home Mortgage Solutions for a free approval. They don't hand them out like candy and just tell you what you want to hear, but they dig deep to find the solutions you need to get qualified. They have competitive rates, and with over 80 years of experience under one roof, you don't have to go anywhere else. They're never too busy, so just give them a call, 423-339-8086, or visit HomeMortgageSolutionsLLC.com.
You do things every minute of every day to protect them. Don't stop now. Woodman Life Family Term Life Insurance covers your entire family with a monthly premium that won't increase for the first 20 years. Guaranteed.
It's reassuring to know that when you retire, Woodman Life will be there with you. providing insurance protection and financial security so that you can sit back, relax, and enjoy your retirement, knowing that you and your family are safe and secure. For more information,
423-790-2847.
Woodman Life.
Ain't gonna cry no more, ain't gonna pace my floor. There's lots of better things that I could do. Ain't gonna hang my head, ain't gonna wish I was dead. Ain't gonna cry no more over you.
The DJ accepts no responsibility.
All right, today on Men Up America, we are going to take in the turn something we normally do not do, since I'd already told Rob once no, and it happened anyway.
We're not going to do it.
We are going to do it. We've got to do it at this point.
Okay.
But we're going to talk real about it.
Right. Yeah. We're going to be respectful.
We say that we don't do local.
Yeah.
Like we try to stick state and national because
What do they
on
say?
Talk 101.3 before us, Emily Beatty covers a lot of local news.
That's not why. It's because you don't poop where you eat.
No, not necessarily.
That's not it. I was going to say,
It is much more. Donald Trump is much more entertaining than the average county commission meeting.
Yeah.
You need to go to a few.
Well, plus I would say too, like, and this is it's not nothing against you, Mitch. Truly.
Lies.
Like, no, truly. It's just that, like, this is not Adam's first rodeo of talking about this kind of stuff locally, nor mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm just saying, like, it's literally not that. I think it's important to be respectful of people you live in community with.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Which we
the
are
real
going
challenge.
to be.
Here's the real challenge with local news. You have fewer eyes analyzing anything of substance. And so the truth kind of, it's a very personal truth for most people. So really, the truth I know is what I heard from my neighbor.
Right.
It's much more gossipy hearsay on a local level as opposed to the journalism that kind of, when you have this, let's bring up this little graphic here for people. When you have this at work, filtering everything Donald Trump says and is at the White House, you tend to get a pretty good spectrum of understanding.
You see that little circle down there?
This is you.
That's where I live.
This is you. Okay, for those of you who listen on the radio, it's a diagram of all the media outlets and where they fall on the spectrum of liberal to conservative.
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching on TV, I've put the graphic up. It's not important. We're not going to analyze it, but I'm just saying this is the depth of inquiry that happens at the national, even the state level. When you get to the local level, we've got like the Daily Banner. We've got Chattanooga Times Free Press.
What's the top one up there?
This here,
Yeah,
well, there's a
I'm the top one.
complex coverage as opposed to sensational clickbait. They put CNN.
So
down
Mitch is
here.
all the way on the bottom right of conservative sensational coverage.
Clickbait.
The arrow says just no.
Just
Got you.
you look kind of here in the center, which is NPR, but up here's the more intellectual sources: Wall Street Journal, The Guardian, The Economist, which I like. I like The Hill.
I would
Say,
be.
I read the Hill The Economist, The Atlantic, and Slate.
I think it's
Which is
interesting that
right?
they put
the skews conservative.
MSNBC
I just thought
above
Vox was a little generous.
Yeah.
I don't. Right? Yeah, I think it is.
I think
a little
the
generous.
positioning of Vox is a bit generous, and I actually think positioning of the Washington Post is a bit more conservative, and the BBC is a bit more liberal.
Above my column, it says conservative utter garbage
Conspiracy
theories.
So speaking
Look, all
of
the way
Mitch,
left there is literal utter garbage conspiracy theories.
so
as well.
speaking of Mitch, let's share this with you. This, if the Earth were flat, cats would have pushed everything off by now. Let's go ahead and show some of the flat
I think it's
Earth.
amazing
told
that
you.
the flat earther thing is coming back.
I'm
strong.
not a flat earther. I just don't
You're not a
believe
flat
in
Earth.
space.
Well, that's because you haven't seen cats push
Is
everything
that real?
off by
Is
now.
that true?
You don't believe in space.
Well, I mean, obviously space is there, but we didn't go to the moon, Rob.
All right, moving on. Back to. I almost got out of doing this. Why did I bring us back? I had to bring us back. Oh.
And megalodons are real.
As if we couldn't. Okay, Mitch is up in flames. Let me join her. This is the. So last night, it hurts. Monday, at the county commission meeting,
Yeah.
a county deputy sells out the county sheriff here in Bradley County about retaliation, all those kind of things. And this is why I did not want to take up this story, and why I really want to
can't
step
we
out of
just-
local, so we really don't know what's happening.
Right.
We have what he said, she said.
Right.
Sure, it took place in a county commission meeting. But this is what I'll say about the 10,000-foot view. For those of you who aren't familiar with this story, a Bradley County deputy has accused the sheriff of retaliating against him because he and his wife have been overtly politically opposed and contradictory and derogatory towards the sheriff. And this is what I'll say about that. I think in any elected position, to the victor goes the spoils. And people would be wise in any job not to publicly retaliate against your boss.
Right.
It's just bad form.
Not even if your boss is a bad manager. And I will say, I have worked under some horrible leaders in my life. And in any situation, I did not go out of the door guns blazing. Okay?
Yeah.
It was not appropriate for me, under the subordination of that leader, to sabotage. And so I don't necessarily hold it against a leader to say, dude, I can't bring you into the inner circle. Anything I give you, you turn toxic.
Right.
So yes, I'm going to compartmentalize you over here. I'm going to sit you at that desk and I'm going to give you chump work.
Right.
Because I can't let you over here for fear that you're going to cause more problems than help.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's what took place, but I'm saying I can understand that what the deputy says is taking place did take place.
Right.
I think we all can agree, yeah, that stuff happens. It does happen. What we don't know about this story is all of the accusations around when it happened, did it happen, even though it's believable to me, even though it may even be appropriate to me, I don't know that it really happened. And everything around the sheriff's office right now, whether it's been from county commissioners, whether it's been from lay people posting videos that have been proven to be wrong, is so muddled and muddy right now. Honestly, viewers, listeners, I'm not going to deal with it till I have some shred of truth to go on with you. I don't want to fuel the fire that is a bunch of he said, she said right now, and that's why I didn't want to take out the story.
It
That's
is
fair.
cause for concern, though, that it is such a muddled mess. Like, things that are running smoothly don't get muddled. That's all I'm saying.
That's not true at all.
It's true.
That is not true. Your husband owns a business. How do you even believe that? Absolutely. Anytime you start to do anything monumental and challenging, things are going to get tricky. They're going to get muddled. You're going to have opposition. You're either going to have mutiny. If something's too good, I'm telling you, as somebody who's had to espouse a partner from a partnership, anytime something gets too good, greed will enter into a scenario. So I think it's the exact opposite, Mitch. I don't agree with you
I
there.
don't know. Maybe we're just lucky
I think
and have good
anything
employees.
worth doing has trouble. Anything worth doing has
That's
trouble.
true. I agree. I think here's why I wanted to talk about it on the show was just because on this show, like what we really try to do is talk about the things that seem to be dominating our social feeds.
Right.
And this was all over. And that doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it false. It doesn't make it any of those things. But what it does mean is that it is all over my Facebook feed right now. And I read that article like twice, I think I texted you and said I've read it twice and I still don't really understand
Right.
what's going on. And I don't know that this show is a place where we figure those sort of things out. We comment on things that have been figured out and maybe how
Sure.
we feel about them. Typically with Mitch feeling one way and me feeling a different way. But,
I ain't mad at you.
But I hear you. But this thing is, I will say this. This community does seem to have been plagued with an awful lot of like issues revolving around our law enforcement,
Yes.
both city and county in general, the last several years. And I think I am one voice of many that would say it's time for that stuff to all get shored up and let's just focus on catching some bad guys. And like that's not to in any way detract from all the good guys in blue that are out there catching bad guys. I'm saying they shouldn't have to deal with this either. It's like when they talk about right, like he's a great player but he's horrible in the clubhouse. Like you hear that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like
The Sergio Garcia
that's
argument.
right.
Yeah.
Terrell Owens, right, was really well known for that. He can jump and run and catch and score, but he's just toxic in the clubhouse. It feels like all these stories, like all this incessant stuff that has been going on now. And that's not to besmirch the new police chief either, who like came into a very difficult situation on the heels of craziness. It's just that like, you know, the city at least has even brought in like special consultants to like say, here's how you get back on track and you pull this sort of thing together. And then just a few weeks ago, we have that video of like they're trying to drop off a prisoner and the lady's like, no, I won't take your paperwork. And they're like, let the bad guy go. And the dude's like, really? Like so takes off running, right? And you're like, what is going on? Like that's our neighborhood. So I don't say this because of any one person. I am not saying Eric Watson is doing something wrong. I am not. I am not saying that what this other officer said is wrong. I'm not. Like, I don't know.
Right.
What
Well,
I'm
that's
saying,
it.
though, is-
We don't know.
Right, we don't know.
I mean,
So
what
I
we
think
do
that
know.
what we are trying to say is, like, crazy messes like this do
Why
not
are they
instill-
happening?
Right, they
we
do
can-
not
we can
instill
agree.
confidence.
We can
Right.
agree that they're not healthy, but you're right, we don't know. What we do know is what I said before. Information in a small community is very relational. I know what my friends who are deputies in the department tell me. I know that, those kind of things. What I'll say is, don't be surprised when you work in a department that is a political office
Sure.
if things are very political. Don't be surprised at that. And it will always be that way. It will continue to be that way. But until we get some shred of truth to run with on this program, kind of the same due diligence we did with Donald Trump on the Russia thing. We still, McMaster says nothing classified was shared. This person said, we kind of talk about it, but we try to man up on this program and say, hey, listen, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What am I supposed to believe? I will say that much to the county and much to the White House, I, for the first time in a long time, am going to agree with Mitch McConnell, which I would like a little less drama. This is what he said today from the White House. I think we could do with a little less drama from the White House. I agree with Mitch. I feel like that on a county level.
Yeah, we
For
could
all
do with a
parties
little less
involved,
drama.
I will do with a little less drama. Unfortunately, you have reporters who get paid for drama,
Yeah.
and you have some citizens who are willing to burn
love
the
it.
town down
Yeah, they love it. They love
to
it.
create drama. You know who you are. You are willing to burn the community down. You have to recognize those people, and if you honestly think, even if they're on your side of the equation, don't let them run with the story, because you can be a victim of your advocates.
Sure.
All right, we've got to get to the river. We're running out of time.
We're out.
Taxes. Everybody needs to pay their taxes, right? All right, listen,
The
I
river
hit-
just needs to be you saying a sentence.
Well, it's going to be a history of social media. I did put on this week. People were shocked to find out as a small business professional that I pay 8 different taxes that most people who work normal jobs do not pay. Here's a breakdown of that. The one that's due coming up June 1st is my professional privilege tax. This is the breakdown of how that's paid if you're watching, if you're listening to us on the radio. Mostly paid by professionals, and it is simply a tax by the state of Tennessee, one of 6 states to have the tax for the ability to work. And it is now tax number 8 that I pay that the guy who walks into McDonald's or Walmart or works for Life Care at a salary job does not have to pay.
As an entrepreneur, I feel your pain.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Amen.
Overtaxed. Taxes are not equitable. We'll bring this up in tomorrow's program and expand further. You've been listening to Talk 101.3 The Buzz. Mitch is not with us tomorrow. Maybe Rob Alderman will be here.
I'll try.
He will try. And if you're listening to us, thank you on Talk 101.3 The Buzz, WTNB Television, right here, Charters Channel 5, Comcast 210, Digital TV Dial 27.1. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here Thursday. Great things that's happening in this country. Hopefully we'll find something to report on. That's all we got.
Bye, y'all.